All right, spin up hydraulics.
And we're going to sit here for a moment and try to get, another shot of the Chimera for one thing. But we're going to try to get a sediment sample. We tried earlier and realized we needed to reserve the last bio box for a biological collection. And having not filled that, we're going to fill it with sediment, a representative sample of this area. We've already collected a few pieces of rubble along with the other bio samples, and we also have a rock, but it'll be really interesting to see what the sediment itself looks like. We've collected several other samples much farther offshore on the Blake Escarpment, on the giant bed forms of our third dive, and also on the Blake Ridge. So we're kind of doing collections from the deepest to the shallowest as we move across this giant feature. He thinks we're coming after him.
Or he wants to check out what we're doing for sure. So these guys, the chimeras, don't have the extensive teeth that sharks do. They have 3 sets of grinding teeth, so maybe he's hoping to find something some little invertebrate he can grind up that we stir up while we take the sediment sample.
This current, we may lose it all, but even if we get some of it, it'll be interesting to see what the fossils in it are.
I think you'll find corals for sure.
I think we'll find corals and sponge spicules.
Yeah.
Not too many echinoderm spines, but maybe some.
Ready to extend?
This is going to be interesting. Yeah, go ahead and extend.
It will certainly be interesting.
Well, you don't have to do much sieving this time.
No, we sieve out the fine materials, and they probably weren't there to begin with, so these may be more the silt-sized materials. This is a good illustration of how current
I feel like we're pushing ourselves.
Selects. Ooh, no.
Yeah, we're pushing ourselves. I'm going to have to close the box.
Okay, closing.
Yeah, how the finer particles don't really have a chance to settle out.
Drawer is fully retracted.
Can you tilt down on the Zeus?
Yeah, bringing Zeus down.
Yeah, but ship's done moving. So Zeus should be about settled, but yeah.
Have you there at 85.
I don't know if Auto XY is going to hold in this current. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do this watch sleep with all the current, but let's see.
Josh, we still have some time. We could potentially look for just a flatter area.
Well, I think I'm going to try something, but I'm pretty sure that when I go to dump this, it's all going to blow away. Yeah. Well, I don't think I have enough time. I don't think I have enough time to. Yeah, but let me try something here. Can you turn to face me?
Coming over. Coming to this server.
It's looking like there's too much. He's looking at a possibility, but likely when it finally gets dumped, we'll lose pretty much all of it.
All right, let's get Mini Zeus up there.
Okay, I will take control of Mini Zeus.
It's a challenging place for this kind of sediment sampling, unfortunately.
All right, you can extend the drawer.
Okay, drawer is coming out.
Keep an eye on Sirius, Sean.
I imagine this would even be a difficult place to collect sediment with a core type sample because you probably hit coral skeleton and not be able to get it in.
A little bit.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a little. Maybe it's shielded enough by the scoop.
Do you think just dropping the scoop in would help save some of it?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Yeah, I don't think I can get to that with how I grab this, unfortunately. Don't see. Let me try this. It's like
Do you want me to try and follow with Mini?
No, you can just stay where you are right now. It's like master level manipulation right now.
If you look at stream 3, you can see a quad split of 4 different cameras on the sample process.
I don't know how to get it in that box. Let's see. I think I grabbed it the wrong way is the problem. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to do this, actually.
A valiant effort, I might add.
Mm-hmm. Too many things working against that sample.
I mean, there is still some in
Maybe that sediment will stick.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's true.
To the scoop, and we'll get something off that.
I don't see a way to get it into the box.
Okay. Well, maybe what's stored on. Oh no, maybe not. Once you put it back in the scoop holder.
Mini Zeus?
Yep.
Starboard. Move it to starboard.
Coming over.
Yeah, I don't. No. It's going to go in the other box. Yeah, I can't get it in the outer box. Alright. Let's bring the jar in.
Okay. Jar's coming in. Jar is fully in.
Thanks for trying, pilot.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't think the mechanics of that box will let me dump it in.
Well, that's good to know for future attempts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure, I definitely.
You're giving me the look that you think it's possible.
I do think it's possible, but with the current, I think we'd lose just about everything.
Hey, let's bring your camera back.
Right.
So we're quickly running out of bottom time today, but it's been a spectacular dive. We didn't know what these mounds were made of at the beginning of the day today.
I think the only way to do that would have been
expecting that maybe they were
like this.
coral formed, and it looks like we've kind of shown that that's
the way I was
highly
saying
likely.
it is if you could rotate the scoop
Again,
completely
this
around
area
and
has
swing it back, but
hundreds
to do
of
that,
these
you would
mounds.
drop
Whether
everything
they're
in the
all
yeah, that's what I mean. You have to, when you do the actual
is
scoop,
still a question,
be
but
like a backhoe.
at least some of them are.
And grab it like that to pour it in.
We've seen quite a diversity today
I could try
of
that.
both stony corals as well as
Sean, you said
octocorals. made a few collections.
Left, if you wanted to.
And we've been just trying to keep up with the biodiversity all day long.
Ramp down your
Here we have
hydraulics.
one Lehmanema to end our dive. A codling.
Okay, it's coming out.
And some more coral matrix in the distance that the codling is swimming around. Ooh, and another codling in a Nizumia rat tail.
Another rat tail.
We must be getting to the fishy part of the dive right at the end.
Right at the end.
Some more sponges.
Yeah, everyone, we have about 10 minutes left in today's dive.
Have about 10 minutes left in the dive. Pilot, this is watch 1.
Go ahead.
Could we zoom on some of that orange coral that's right in the bottom middle of the screen?
Absolutely.
Wondering if this is a little bit more of that madrepora that we've only seen once or twice today, once dead and once alive. Yep, and that's what it looks like.
Is that the zigzag framework?
Yep, the zigzaggy orange coral, and then Lophelia pertusa is the one just to the left of it. You can see a brittle starfish or two back in the matrix there. A crinoid, a big sponge in the background. And I think there's some more madrepora just up behind this one. But it's definitely not as common as the other scleractinians that we've seen today. We've also seen stylaster lace corals quite often, but they've been quite tiny. And there are some little brittle stars on this madrepora coral too, and some hydroids.
It seems like it's been quite an efficiently fishy day today.
Brad, so any last moves? We have time for maybe one more short move.
I mean, probably you have a little bit of room to keep exploring just around this area. If we only have 8 minutes.
Yeah, we can move.
Another pancake urchin.
Whatever pilot's comfortable with.
Let's say, Cheryl, maybe you know more about it in this particular region of the Atlantic. But earlier in the dive, at the very beginning of the dive, I was asking about the nav data because I was interested in the oxygen. And I noticed that the oxygen concentration is not particularly low. I mean, it's a little bit lower than it has been the last several dives, but it's not like we're in an oxygen minimum zone. So do you know if out here there is not such a zone, or if it's deeper?
I don't know. My thought is that the Gulf Stream impacts this area all the time, and it's always bringing fresh oxygenated water to the area. So I'd be surprised to find low oxygen levels.
Yeah, I would imagine that this is very well mixed water that's getting a regular delivery of oxygen.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I can't believe I forgot about the Gulf.
I have a feeling there's something interesting under that ledge to the left.
But it was interesting on the last dive. We did hit a very definitive boundary between two water masses. We had changing temperature and salinity very suddenly at about 800 meters.
880, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that, indicating a colder, more saline current beneath, and that made sense. That was the edge. We were on the edge of the western boundary undercurrent.
Skate or stingray? Center screen low.
Oh yeah, we've got a skate maybe in the middle of the screen there, laying right next to the sponges, all tucked in.
Something was drawing me in that direction.
He looks interested in one of, and that's an urchin that we haven't seen.
Yeah, that
today.
looks like Echinus, genus Echinus or Gracil Echinus.
Nose. Yeah. That's a nice ending to the dive. See something new.
Let's get lasers.
Lasers coming on. Lasers are on.
Chuck Messing is noting what a great day it was for somebody who studies agglutinating forams because they rule, they cover everything. And it's true, with this zoom we're able to see them in action and realize the extent of their coverage of this dead coral matrix.
Definitely a bit of current right on the edge here.
And hopefully we got some for you, or for the scientific community, on the rubble pieces that we collected earlier.
Roger that. Thanks, Nav. We have completed 600 meters of transecting during this dive today, so a very successful dive all the way around. Thank you, everybody who's contributed to helping us interpret what we've been seeing here today. And tomorrow's dive will be north of here on an area that is somewhat similar, so hopefully we'll find a lot of coral again tomorrow.
Shallower. And on the western side of the Gulf Stream, as it's flowing right now, the Gulf Stream does shift its axis. We are slightly east of the axis now, and the northern site will be farther west.
Yeah, this is Gulf Stream.
This is definitely Gulf Stream, yeah.
It's right above us. It's stronger at the surface than it is at this depth, although as you've seen from both the corals blowing in the current and the ROV struggling a little bit from time to time, there's definitely a lot of current down here as well.
No, I'm not going to go out too far.
Copy that.
The pilots estimated about a half a knot of current earlier.
Let's do a snap on this.
And
fallen
it looked like
here.
it is varied.
We lose lasers.
Lasers coming off.
Go ahead in, Roland.
Yeah, just wanted to video.
Go ahead in, Roland.
You get a good view of this dead coral matrix that supports a lot of life.
As we wrap this up, can we get sort of like a fade into the darkness, bunch of coral wide shot?
Well, there's not much coral here.
Minutes.
And we hope that you'll stick around. We're going to have our dive planning call immediately following the end of the dive here. We're going to be talking about the next dive, tomorrow's dive, and then the following day's dive as well.
Pirouette.
So Stetson Mesa North, and then Savannah Banks. And we have some choices to make, so we hope that you will stick around and help us make some decisions. And quite a beautiful scene to leave on. Lophelia, and we have the bamboo coral that we've been seeing a lot of today.
And as you get around to the side, you can sort of just
We've
fade
had
up in the
over
dark
30 people
if it's
join
time
us
for
in the
to
chat
go.
room. We really appreciate you helping us and working with us, communicating amongst yourselves, and then reporting out what you think to us. That's been great too.
All right, let's, is that time, Sean?
Scott France
Still have another minute if you want to take it.
is one of his final statements.
built in some
Bamboo
time
coral
with
is
still lights
winning
and
the
stuff,
king
so-
of the mountain game.
Around for another 60 seconds.
Yeah, it sure looks like it, Scott.
Can give me a view of Sirius.
No bias there.
Not in this current, Roland.
We'll have to check back in 2,000 years and see if that's still the case.
That's right. I think Chuck Messing would say the agglutinative forams rule. There are more of them.
Maybe it's just when we were passing over that large mound just a moment ago, we had a nice side view, and you could see all these wispy bamboo corals right strung along the top of it, above the live, whatever this scleractinian is.
Yeah, we've been bouncing back and forth between the Lophelia and Anelopsamia, so it's hard to say. We have to keep zooming in to figure it out. They both look like white stony corals from far.
All right, pilots, if you want to start stowing lights and take your last looks.
So yeah, putting this in context with the bathymetry of this area, you see these mounds covering a very extensive area on the seafloor here in the Stetson Mesa, and if even a fraction of them are covered in coral such as this is, it really gives us an amazing perspective on how much coral might be down here and the extent of this coral habitat. So we've learned quite a bit today about the potential for coral habitat, and this will help with our ground truthing the habitat suitability models, and we will learn more again tomorrow as we go to a slightly more northern area.
Cheryl, you see these two really distinct mounds here separated by some lower ground. Do you think it's possible that each of these mounds is basically the start of one colony that just keeps growing and growing and growing?
I was thinking that because we've seen that occasionally, especially when we're on the side of this mound, and that definitely could be the case, that it was one or a couple of individuals that have just been growing and growing, and there's space in between. Yeah, that's I don't remember seeing it quite like that before, but that's a good hypothesis.
And you know, maybe the mounds that we saw on the lower levels, maybe they start like this, but they get filled in between with sediment. And so you're just seeing the tops of the mounds, and then the rubble adds to that sediment. The velocity is so much stronger here.
I would turn those off.
No, it's just if you were close to it. It was more of a request.
Yeah, can you turn those off?
Coming off.
Thank you.
Lights are off.
I send the request to pilot, and he approves or disapproves.
That's a beautiful place. Beautiful scene to leave on.
Okay, lights are stowed.
Yeah, so goodness, let's see, what have we seen today? We have seen so many species of both scleractinian and octocorals. We've been seeing these mounds that have been dominated by Anelopsamia profunda, which is a stony coral that were on the lower mounds, the first one that we looked at. And then as we climbed up higher, we saw that the mounds were dominated more by Lophelia pertusa, but the dead coral skeleton that is left behind is kind of the star of the day, because that has created all of this habitat that we see all of these other invertebrates and even fishes using. We have multiple types of octocorals. We've seen bamboo corals, plexurids, we've seen anthomastus, we've seen I don't even know how many species of sponges. And we've seen all sorts of smaller invertebrates that use all the spaces in between the coral skeleton. So the habitat that is created by these big stony corals, even when they're dead, is very, very impressive and a very important habitat.
They have quite a legacy.
Yes, they do. They have a legacy.
Yes.
All right, Pat, whenever
and when
you're ready,
you think about the vastness of this area and all of these mounds,
should I come around to starboard then?
If they are covered in coral like this, or even a fraction of them are, that is a substantial habitat that we are just beginning to learn about that's here. So it's a very exciting finding.
Goes down as you turn. Go ahead.
Okay, coming around.
And these are 3 of hundreds of mounds that are similar and spread across many square kilometers of this region known as the Stetson Mesa.
90, 200 degrees, right?
All influenced by the Gulf Stream.
The current's going to push me
we may see
north.
variations in what lives on these different mounds depending on where they are in proximity to the Gulf Stream. We might see differences in who's living on the tops of the mounds as you move away from the dominant flow. That would be a great study to do.
And we'd like to go 1 knot through the water. So we would actually be moving astern over ground.
Yeah, we actually got to explore about 600 meters of horizontal distance. Two mounds, one of them that was lower relief, and then the one that we've been on most recently here was a higher relief mound. And so we got to really see a lot of this habitat.